record. Welcome everyone to your first individual banishment ceremony. For many of you, well, 4 of you, no, let's go with 2 of you have been to every single banishment ceremony. Shout out Casey and Jerry. Charlotte and Cam have been to like the last 3 or 4, and there are 4 of you that have never been to a single one, so this is your first one. How it will work is I will ask questions, we'll chat for a bit, then it will come time to vote, and you will Slack me directly with who you'd like to vote for. So first, hello Katrina, oh, and she left. Okay, first I want to, Casey, congratulations. You won the very first individual immunity. How did that feel? Did you expect to win it? Were you, trying to win it, or just kind of happened?
It just happened. I was not expecting it. I was super excited, obviously, but just so shocked.
And how do you feel having that? Because you haven't, you've been to all the banishment ceremonies, and I've never seen you play an idol, so you've never been safe at any of them, but at this one you are safe. Is it a different feeling?
It is a different feeling, and I was talking about it earlier today. It's such an exciting feeling to know that for the first time I can kind of relax, and not for long, but I can relax just for this one.
Sure. So Cole, you almost won it, but you came down for a clue. Were you going to win it, and the clue that seemed more tantalizing, or there was no way you were going to win it, and the clue was thankful that it happened?
The clue was thankful that it happened, but thanks a lot for a clue that didn't help at all.
I don't know what that means. Does anybody know what that means? I don't know what that means. So Jake, you're at your first banishment ceremony. How are you?
Hooray. This is awful, Kelsey. I'd like to skip all future banishments if I could request that. Yeah,
no, we request denied. How I am curious, and I want to hear from all 4 of you who are on the new Mora Mora. Like, you guys haven't been a banishment ceremony, which on one hand is amazing because you make it to the merge, fantastic. But on the other hand, you guys really haven't, some people would argue, played the game yet, and you haven't had to test any allies or anything. So I'll start with you, Jake. How are you feeling coming into this merge, knowing?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a double-edged sword, right? Everybody else here, except for the 4 of us who have never been to a banishment, have at some point had a chance to prove their loyalty to at least one other person in this group. And the rest of us, we've had nothing to test us. So I think it's easy to all feel great with each other, but you never know, right? Until the vote comes down, you don't know where anyone stands.
Sure. And so Deanna, how are you feeling? Because as I said, on one hand, you kind of really want to start playing the game, but on the other hand, you don't want to be that person post-merge who's making the really big moves. It's almost like we're back at day 1 where you don't want to be that first person throwing out names.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how I feel. Today felt like day 1. It felt very exciting, but also like my head was reeling for the first time in a while. I can't say that I'm excited to be here, but I guess I'm excited to actually start doing something that leads to movement in the game, and see what happens next.
So, and Emily, you picked your team, and you picked well, obviously, because you guys made it through. How are you feeling come the merge? Because also, you're able to reunite with 2 original Verdasa, although it's been craziness that's been going on over there, so it's hard to know where people lie and things like that. How are you feeling come the post-merge?
I have to say that it was kind of like, I don't know, it's just weird to hear people talking about how today was crazy and it was like day 1 when that was not my experience at all. And I feel super nervous because I would have expected that the people that I've been with up to this point have a certain kind of bond, and when you're used to being communicated with at like a certain rate, especially when Slack is so kind of consistent, any shift in that is just like super freaking noticeable. So I guess nervous is what I would say.
And Erin, is she referring to you or Allison when she says the people she's been with as of recently?
I don't know if she said as of recently. I think she just said the people she's been with.
She's been with you recently, though. She's been with
Definitely
you,
has been
Allison,
with me recently. I think she totally could be referring to me, but I honestly, Emily was one of the people I was talking to pretty consistently today. I think she would probably agree, but maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, it has been a day, I will say. Like, as the past week for me has been full of silence for the most part. Not a lot of conversations happening with me, or like where I'm included, at least. Maybe they're talking about me, but I'm definitely not included in them. So it's been a day of adjustment for me as well, I'd say.
Allison, were you also experiencing silence while on your new Mora Mora team?
I mean, like, everyone was really kind and warm for sure. Was I part of like actual gameplay conversations? Not really. I mean, they had the numbers, and we also never went to banishment. So it, like, I don't know. I guess banishment's what lights the fire, and we didn't need it.
Sure. So Charlotte, you've been here, and you've been here when your team was in the majority, which seemingly, again, we have 6 OG Verdasa. Does that mean anything post-merge? Do the OG teams mean anything? Because the new Verdasa really kind of was put through the ringer, and people were picked off from both teams. So I'm curious to hear what you think. Oh, you're muted.
Rookie mistake. Yeah, as much as whoever was saying like the past week for them was pretty quiet, the past week for us has been really tumultuous, and it's hard to not feel like some consequences are going to come from that for me. But yeah, I think the original teams mean something.
So Jerry, I want to ask you, does the original teams mean anything to you? Because if it did, I think you, Casey, and Ryan would have been gone a long time ago, and yet 2 of you still are here. So clearly there were cracks. Are you finding that people are maybe putting on this, the original teams mean something, but really there are cracks in that facade?
Yeah, I think it's a question of, you're at this point where you can talk to so many different people, and it'd be silly not to kind of engage with everyone and get a sense of everyone. I think this is much different than being physically on an island together, and so I feel like it'd be foolish if you didn't, reach out to everyone and kind of see where their heads were at and kind of strategize with everyone. And I think the idea of teams is kind of dissolving. I don't know. That's my feeling.
Sure. So Cam, you've been here to the last few banishments, and every banishment that you've been to, it seems like you've thought you were going home, and each time you've not gone home, and each time you've played an idol. Is this, with more people here and more people from your own team, are you feeling any more secure, or is it the same level of nervousness and paranoia as it's been from the get-go?
I would say that today feels a lot more like the first vote on like Verdasa 2.0 is what I call it, where everybody's trying to feel each other out, and it's almost like you're playing Battleship, and you just have to like hope that you hit. And if you don't, like, Gray is a good example of somebody who is a very strong player who got taken out by like something that was out of her control. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen to me tonight. Like, that would suck.
Well, I haven't asked for the idols yet, so I guess we'll get to that later on. So Cole, I want to ask, you did drop out for a clue, and you had that clue. Do you worry that puts any sort of target on your back?
Well, it does, but I hope that I've shared it with people, and I don't have a great track record of clues, so I was hoping it wouldn't do too much.
Okay, so Aaron, we hear him say that he shared it with some people. Did he share it with you?
I definitely got a version of a clue, and I don't know
if it was telephones,
if it was real or fake, but Cole did tell me a clue, and I think I really believed him, and then I was like, I don't know if I can. believe him. Why would he tell me? I didn't even ask.
Interesting. Do you think, post-merge, people who haven't experienced banishment ceremonies are now wanting to play hard and maybe not fully knowing how to do that? And I'm not just specifically referring to Cole, I'm referring to the 4 who've never gone to one.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I was a part of a foursome who had never gone to banishment, I would absolutely be sweating, because everyone else has been in this little mindset a little bit longer, and we've all, except for the 4 of them, have been at risk before. So, and I guess technically Cam, he's never really been at risk, but yeah, I mean, it just pushes you to be like thinking of all your options, I think.
Sure. Cam, actually, do you worry that now, since you have played those 3 idols, that is a huge target on your back?
1,000,000%. And so there was a clue dropped this morning, and most of my time was like, I didn't get it. Leave me alone. I swear. Like, just stop. There are more people now. It's less likely for me to get it. Like,
are you the first person people come to check and see if you got it?
Yeah, I've been referred to as Mr. Idol, Idol Boy, Finder of Idols. I think you called me something.
I called him Idol King. I'll say
Idol
that.
King, that one's nice, I guess. I would like to move past that. You can't win this game through idols alone. So I'm trying to make relationships and, move forward, because you're not always going to have an idol.
Sure. So off of that, Allison, I want to ask you, we've seen lots of more and more people go home. There's only 4 of you left, and we really haven't seen any more and more people play idols. Is that something that you worry about, or that you worry that the 6 Verdasa are going to start trying to just one by one target to flush that idol?
Essentially, since I've been playing the game, I've been in the minority. So of course, all those things cross your mind when you're not on the side of a number of, like, a voting block. I mean, name 5 more things, and those things would have crossed my mind too. I just feel like I've never been on top, so I can't help but be nervous about what could happen, because I just feel like I've been duking it out from the bottom, for the whole time.
That's fair. So Jake, how are you feeling? Because conceivably, you are part of that people who are on top, but we're merged. Every day we get closer to the final. I'm going to start using the word resume. Everyone's going to get annoyed by it, but I'm going to start using that word. Technically, you 4 don't really have anything on it. Emily does, because she was able to pick the team, but is that something you're starting to think about, or is it a little bit further down the line because we just merged, let's get through this, and then we can start doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's easy for me to say in the position that I'm in, but I do genuinely feel like the game of Survivor as a whole has become too reliant on this idea of a resume, and I feel like it causes a lot of people to play stupidly. And I think this isn't a game that has to be like that, but the showmanship of it has outweighed playing smart, and I think that hurts people more than it helps them.
Mm-hmm. Charlotte, were you nervous during when we announced the merge, because you were returning with so many people, and you've owned at this point that you flipped in that vote so that you didn't have to go home with rocks? Is that something that you're still concerned about, or do you think at this point people can understand you had a 1 in 3 chance going home, you had to do what you had to do? Or did you have to plead your case to everyone and kind of walk them through it?
Well, I'll say 2 things on that. The first thing I'll say is everyone was pretty understanding, which I really appreciated. But it's like Jake being like, oh, we want to, you should be under the radar more. It's like, Jake, bud, trust me, I agree with you. No one is excited about the week that I just had. I've been I was in a really shitty situation, and I felt that I had to make a choice, and everyone on Verdasa came to me this morning and said that they understood, and pretty much everyone said that they would probably make the same choice.
Okay. Did you believe all of them?
I have to. I don't know. Like, what can I do?
Deanna, were you one of those people who told Charlotte that you would have done the same thing if you were in her place?
Yeah, I was. I understand the move that she made. I think that most of us would have made it as much as we don't want to admit it. We're here to play because we want to have fun. And I think if you want to keep having fun, you have to do some difficult things along the way.
So Casey, I want to bring it back to you and Jerry, because you guys, again, have been to all the banishment ceremonies and you've survived them. So do you worry that now there is a target on yours and Jerry's backs, because you guys have made it through when no one thought you were going to? I'm using the general no one, not like me specifically.
No, I understand. I feel like it's impossible to not feel like you have a target on your back when you've been here every single time. Mm-hmm. And so I think now it's just kind of with the merge, thinking that you have a fresh start and just trying to move forward and not think about how much it could potentially affect your game.
So Emily, you know, I did mention it earlier, you kind of are one of the only people from OG Verdasa that was on New Moramora that does have something, right? Like, you were second place in that individual competition, you made it there. Are you concerned that your name is being tossed out? Or are you feeling like it doesn't, even if I hear my name tossed out, it doesn't mean anything because everyone's name is being tossed out?
First of all, I would not say that everyone's name is being tossed out. And while I think people are smart enough not to allow my name to get back to me, you kind of have to do the equation that is, what is the name that they want to get to me? And so I think this whole game is about who you share information with, who you don't share it with. And that is the one luxury of having so much time without a banishment. You get really good at knowing what information people are willing to give you when they are firmly on your side. Mm-hmm. And so I'm worried that my name is absolutely out there, but mostly because I feel like I may have been given like a sham plan.
Okay. So Cole, I want to come back to you because I want to return to the thing where Erin was telling us that she got a version of the clue from you. Now, something that I find really interesting that has happened this season that I've learned from this conversation is that seemingly on New Moramora, the OG Verdasa just didn't really talk to the OG Moramora. Was that a smart move? Because now we're here at the merge, and do you have any authentic relationships with Erin or Allison?
Well, I wouldn't agree with that statement at all. I'd say I talked to Erin a bunch. I'd say I talked to Allison about as much as I talked to any of the other people. The tribes are really getting blurred throughout the season.
Okay.
It would be dumb of me to not talk to them. From a gameplay and just a personal, I want to get to know the people I'm playing with.
So, Erin and Allison, do you feel that when Corey was on your guys' team that you guys talked to him more than Cole talked to you while you guys were on his team, or vice versa?
Sorry, one more time?
So when Corey was with you guys for 24 hours, he talked about being iced out and you guys not talking to him. Do you think that you talked to him more than Cole talked to you guys in this past week?
I absolutely did not talk to Corey more than Cole talked to me. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a lot to say to Corey at the time. It was like pretty divided, right? Like the teams were not swapped. There was definitely potential, but there was just too much like mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey was also only there for 24 hours and we were with Cole for a week. So it just like naturally migrated, where as you know, when Corey came in, it was like intruder, and we knew it was short term, you know?
Sure. Great point. So I think that's enough questions for now. We're going to begin slacking directly unless
Kelsey.
Yes.
I've enjoyed not going to banishments so far, and I'd like to skip out on at least one more. I'd like to use safety without power
That is a safety without power. So Jake will be immune from tonight's vote, but he also will not get to vote. Jake, please turn your video off, but remain here. When I say your name, please Slack me directly with who you'd like to vote for. We're going to begin with Deanna. Cole. Emily. Aaron. Allison. Cameron. Charlotte. Casey. Jerry. Okay, I'm going to count the votes. Okay, before I read the votes, does anyone have an idol that they would like to play? Now would be the time. Okay, once I read the names, the decision is, for a second, Cam, I was like, no, you're not. The decision is final, and this person will be the first member of our jury. So anyone post-merge will join the jury. Once I read your name, yep. I haven't been doing the lights. Let's bring the phones back out and do the lights. Why not? Thank you, Allison. Charlotte is gone. Hopefully she's coming back.
Sorry, I'm trying to be, present in my life, so.
Okay. First vote, Allison. That's one vote, Allison. Second vote, Cole. That's one vote, Allison, one vote, Cole. Third vote, Cole. That's 2 for Cole, 1 for Allison. Allison. That's 2 for Allison, 2 for Cole. Cole. That's 3 for Cole, 2 for Allison. Allison. That's 3 for Cole, 3 for Allison. Fourth one is for Cole. So 4 for Cole, 3 for Allison. And the first member of our jury is Cole. Cole, I'm sorry, but you have been banished from the island. Is there anything you'd like to say before you go?
I had fun. I hope there's some type of edge or whatever. I don't know. Some of you flipped, but that's all right. I'll pick whoever played the best game.
Cole, it's been a true pleasure having you. Thank you for letting me slack you each day to annoy you and get you ready for college. You have been banished. If you can turn your video off. And as Cole said, he mentioned an edge. There is no edge of extinction. I'm letting you guys know now there is 0 edge of extinction. However, there was a fan vote and one person will be joining us back tonight. And that person, if they could turn their video back on, please. God, I hope they're here. Corey is rejoining the team that named themselves Datasa, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So Corey,
back and I brought secrets.
Corey is back in the game. It was a very close vote. Lisa, Corey, Gray, and Ryan went for it. They made incredible videos. The fans voted. We got almost 500 votes. It was crazy. So congratulations to Corey. He will be back in the game. Everyone, the challenge, second individual immunity challenge will be tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you check out our Instagram for the post show. We're going to be talking about a lot of things there tonight. And thanks everybody for being here. Have a good night. Bye.